Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of PicoPROSpectives. This is a show where we talk about all things portable and Pico projector related and associated technologies in that space. I am Paul Margansky. I am co-founder of PicoPros.com and obviously host of PicoPROSpectives. Here is co-host and co-founder of PicoPros, Rich Margansky. Rich, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. We got some great stuff coming up. Hopefully you guys enjoy the show tonight.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of PicoPROSpectives. I assume we're good now, Tim. Sorry about that, guys. So with us tonight are actually two representatives that are associated with what I have here, which is the UO SmartBeam HD laser Pico projector that's been getting a lot of attention. So with me tonight are two gentlemen. We have Eugene Lee of KDC USA. They're the distributor of the SmartBeam HD laser Pico projector. Eugene, how are you tonight?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
Excellent. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. And also on the other side, we have James Chung, who's actually part of UO SmartBeam. He's part of the group that brought the product from Korea to the United States. So through their channels, they're the only way we can really get the SmartBeam HD laser Pico projector in the United States. And we'll get into all that. It's a little complicated. But James, how are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm very excited to be here. I guess that sort of switched. I think KDC brings the projector, and we're sort of the. It's hard to explain. We'll get into it later.
Exactly. Yeah, you were explaining it before the show. It's very complicated, so I apologize. But all in all, the two of you are bringing excellent technology to the United States. I think everyone appreciates that, and I know for this product there is a ton of interest, which we'll get into, and we'll be doing a review of the product on PicoPros.com and our YouTube channel in the near future. So thank you for that. So I guess did some introductions. What I should say before we go into the news segment is behind the scenes, of course, this show is always brought to you by AV Nation. We have Tim Albright from avnation.tv hosting the show, or at least coordinating the graphics and the transitions behind the show. So we really appreciate that, Tim. And be sure to visit AV Nation at avnation.tv. Be sure to visit their YouTube channel. They have excellent podcasts, not only on Pico projection. They do large installations, commercial, residential, all that stuff. So be sure to check out avnation.tv. So at this point, maybe we'll do our news segment for a few minutes here.
Let's kick it off to the news.
You have a really cool product to talk about, this projection keyboard thing.
So yeah, we're always looking for cool ways to use small projectors, and one of the things that I recently found was on geek.com. And I saw this company, let me see, forget the name, SHOU, S-H-O, like the Ford show, get it, S-H-O. Anyway, yeah, so S-H-O-U. But what they have is it's a keyboard, just a regular physical keyboard, and there's a Pico projector built into it. So it's an idea. It's a unique way of using a Pico projector to share, your content and use, interact with your computer with a keyboard. And it's all it is a keyboard.
So this is sort of the opposite of what a lot of the other companies are trying to do, where they have either a tablet or some wireless streaming devices. They're doing a physical piece of hardware for people that like a physical keyboard.
Yeah, there's people that still like the keyboard.
And putting a projector in there so that you can just carry your keyboard with you to work or whatever. So it apparently has an embedded operating system or something.
No, I believe it
or pairs with your smartphone in some way.
HDMI input for it, yeah.
All right, so you're going to hook it up to your smartphone or whatever.
Yep.
And then project whatever and use it as a physical keyboard. So for people, I guess this is sort of like the BlackBerry people that prefer that tactile keyboard. So it'll be interesting to see how well this gets adopted. Because me personally, I don't mind a tablet, but
it's an interesting product. I'll say that because a lot of people are going away from keyboards, physical keyboards, and getting more into just either a projection or a tablet. A lot of new things are integrating their touch projection.
It's an interesting. I don't know if Tim has the graphic there, but I'll just pull this up. He has a picture of. So you literally see it's a physical keyboard projecting an image. I think it can project at least 60-inch image. I don't know the brightness spec, but it's a
about
pretty
a 20
interesting thing.
21-inch image, so it's about the size of a computer
Okay,
monitor.
a standard monitor.
150 lumens. So
150 lumens, you could project a lot bigger than that, I'd imagine. But maybe
I don't
it
know,
depends
that's
on
what
the
they claim,
optics. I don't know.
You know.
But that's pretty cool. So anything else to note on the you show?
I mean, that's really it.
Show you.
You know, that's just something that we want to talk about on the news today.
All right, let me talk about something really cool here. Actually, pretty recently, very recently, just about 2 days ago. So Sony's been getting into the portable or Pico projection space. I mean, they have the show UX, Space UX or UX Space, whatever they're calling it, where they're doing all kinds of projection things for your living room. Just about 2 days ago, they're leaked. Now, not officially from Sony, so it's unofficial official because it's been on some major websites like I don't know if it was Uber Gizmo or what it was, but they actually have something. It's called the MPCL1, whatever. But it's a HD 720p HD laser Pico projector that they're saying is going to come out in October, apparently for around $350. This is all, I'll say speculation because there hasn't been an official press release, but it's going to be 32 lumen. About the size of a cell phone. It is a Samsung Galaxy S6, a little thicker than this, but about the same size, really. And all different things. I've heard rumors about keystone correction, digital keystone correction, HDMI, wireless connectivity, all this stuff. And using, so they say, microvision's laser beam scanning technology using direct green lasers. So it'll be interesting to see what happens between now and October. Nobody's confirmed this story. But there are several sites that are, several major sites that are citing it, so kind of think it's true, and it's interesting to see. I know Sony's been involved with the laser Pico projection technology for probably a year and a half, 2 years now.
Yeah, have they done any heads-up stuff?
Heads-up
display?
No, not them. No, I mean heads-up display has been in development for a while, using multiple different technologies, but nothing mainstream at this point. But I don't know about Sony, but as far as this MPCL1, I guess it is. MPCL1, yeah, sorry. $350, 32 lumens, 720p resolution. We'll see if it happens, but it's something that popped on the radar just a couple days ago, and I really wanted to jump on that because it's really interesting stuff. And Sony was supposed to come out with some products. We haven't seen anything. Maybe we'll see something later this year. It's only a couple months away, so I'm really excited to see what's going on there. So stay tuned for that. If there's something there, we're going to try to get a review unit and bring it to the masses here.
So, I mean, there's some other news too. There's been a company making the news recently. They've been featured on NBC News, Crate. They've been featured on a couple other really big websites, and that's UO-Beam, which is our guest, right? So here's Paul has the UO-Beam Smart projector. So this is how small it is. I mean, look at that.
2.2 inches cubed. So it's extremely small. I mean, compared to the Samsung Galaxy S6 or whatever, it's really small.
Yeah, we have James and Eugene here.
You want this?
And so they can talk a little bit more about this. I guess we'll start with James. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got started with UO-Beam, how you got involved, a little bit of the history in that?
Well, I guess I'll start with my background. As far as projectors go, I haven't owned a TV, honestly, personally, in like 8 years or something like that. I'm really into projection, so given this opportunity to bring the UO Smart Beam laser to the United States, it's really, really exciting for me, especially considering how small and how bright it actually is for the size.
Yeah.
And the fact that it does HD. It really is, and so yeah, I just it sort of kind of came to be, and so I decided to get involved with it, and it's been really, really exciting ever since.
So what's the timing here? So a product of this high quality, it's really high quality. You have to see it in person really to appreciate it. The materials, the engineering, just everything about it's really high quality. So how long, I guess I would ask, has this product been in development? Because I know there was a similar LED version a year or two ago. How long have you guys been working on this, or how long has your partner companies been working on this?
I guess I have to answer the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Eugene,
because
feel free to jump in.
yeah, um, that manufacturing in Korea, they've been researching developing about it's been about 2 years,
Okay.
and then they were like invested by like SK Telecom, and then which is like Korean Verizon in South Korea, and then they decided they want to work on like a laser like series, so that's why they decided get rid of like LED stuff, it, like like the things you see on like Amazon. So it's been about 2 years.
3 years. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful I mean, the materials, the construction, the fit, finish, everything is literally, this is the type of product you see from Apple. It's that well made. I mean, really, that kudos to whoever is designing this thing. It's really solid. So I guess you mentioned about the lasers going from LEDs to lasers.
Right.
I guess I would ask, what advantages do you see going to lasers? I know historically lasers are a little bit more expensive, or at least the green lasers are certainly, than the
Yes,
LED version. So what advantages of going to the lasers? I mean, I think I know the answer, but I'd prefer, if you were able to tell our audience, well, why lasers?
Yeah, first of all, you don't have to waste your time like adjusting focus, and then
Yeah.
also you can just get most of every single color on the wall or any fabric, or so I think that's the most thing I choose on the laser,
Yeah.
because LED you must have like a screens or something that you have to play on, like it has to be perfectly flat. For laser, they don't have to flat. It can be round, it can be flat, it can be displayed at any place, anytime. Also,
Exactly.
yeah,
Sorry. Go ahead.
I
yeah.
think
Also, like you can watch it like at least 70% of quality of the contents, even though it's during the daytime. So that's why I choose on laser.
Yeah, I agree. I think the image is always going to be in focus when you're using a laser, even with the panel technology. I believe you guys are using LCOS, and so it's always in focus. And then the other thing, I guess, from what I understand, is the colors are a little more saturated with lasers, color reproduction.
I think I think basically you end up hitting a sort of upper limit with LEDs. I mean, we've had LED Pico projection available on the market for years.
Yeah.
And frankly, they just weren't that great of products. They're really fun. They seem like they would be really cool, but as soon as you kind of play with it, it's not too bright. And you see with a sort of laser, sort of the fix to with an LED, you can get a bulb small enough to make a projection.
Yeah.
But how is it that you're going to get a projector small enough that is also bright enough to use in everyday life? And I think that bringing lasers into the equation really is how you sort of solve that. And I know we actually had a Sony engineer. I think he was unrelated to the projector that you guys are kind of previewing on your website.
Oh yeah.
But we had a Sony engineer come to our table at InfoComm, and he's looking at it and he's like, oh, an LCOS laser. And so he's like, that's a good solution. Think about how he's just like, you put those things together and it's just like, oh, you get this really nice image.
Is it lower power with the laser as well?
Then say an LED.
Yeah.
I don't. It's hard to not. Yes, but no, not really. Not really.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
Maybe not yet. I think particularly for the green laser, anyways. Direct green lasers have just come online in the last couple of years. There's still the cost, and I think the efficiency is still on its way.
Yeah.
Up and down depending on which metric you're looking at. So
Yeah,
it's still being
with
improved.
a small projector like that, you really want to focus on, because there's a battery built into it for anybody.
It's
that
pretty
doesn't
beefy
know.
battery, 4,200 milliamp hour. That's a
Right,
nice battery
so-
for something like this.
Yeah, so you're going to want that to, be very efficient and last a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
And how long does we haven't actually charged it fully and used it, but how long would you say it would last playing a video from full charge?
You can play up to 2 hours without power, but if you charge it with, use the power, then you can use it as long as you want.
Yeah.
I tested about like 3 days in a row, so it works.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
No, and I literally just got this one today, and I was playing around with it. So yeah, I didn't get a lot of time with it, but I do know the images are really beautiful and bright. And I did notice for such a small Pico projector, the sound was really good. A lot of Pico projectors have really bad speakers. This one actually sounded really good for such a small Pico projector. I mean, do you know what what size speakers are in this thing? I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
It has only like 1 watt.
Mhm.
Really?
It's a 1 watt speaker, but it does. I mean, compared to other 1 watt speakers, I think
Exactly.
it compare favorably. Yeah, absolutely.
I've tested many 1 watt speaker Pico projectors, and they don't sound anything like this. I don't know who the audio engineer is on it, but kudos to that person. It's really good audio on this.
Actually, they spent a lot of money on the speaker too. So.
Yeah, good. That's good to hear. So then, so we talked. Brightness is what, 60 lumens on this thing? I read.
Yes, it is.
720p resolution. What else? We got 1 watt speaker. It supports a lot of wireless. It does DLNA. It does Miracast.
Yeah. One of the things is it's called the UO Beam Smart Projector, right?
Smart Beam.
Smart Beam. Now it's smart, and now why would you call it smart? I guess for anybody who's listening.
Sorry, go ahead.
We probably know.
I mean, this is the only Pico projector you can connect with the Apple product wirelessly.
Okay.
So that's the one thing I really keep saying this is the best project in the world, because none of the Pico projectors you can use wireless with iPhone, iPad, things like that.
Oh, really? I didn't even realize that. I just got it today, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I do know there's some other wireless projectors. I won't name them, but that work with Miracast or whatever. But when it comes to Apple, because they closed down their operating system or what have you, yeah.
Yeah. Also, I just finished. They just finished upgrading their OS. So now people can watch YouTube, HBO, and Netflix in US.
Really?
So basically, yeah.
That's
Very
fantastic.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's nice.
It has AirPlay built in, but I think with what the limitation was until this current firmware update, it wasn't able to fully take advantage of internet streaming video. But my understanding is that recently that there was some either an update or something, and I'm actually gonna find out tomorrow, I think. But yeah, I mean, I think Eugene knows. He says that with the new update you can do all the online streaming video. So I'm excited to see how that functions. But as of right now, we generally don't. I mean, similar to Celluant's projector, we don't recommend a wireless connection just yet. But maybe stay tuned.
Yeah, it's okay. I gotcha. That's really interesting because I know Apple's very they lock down everything and they want it to be an Apple product that can do all these things. So maybe at some point in the future, one of you guys are partnered with Apple or something. I don't know, but I think that's one of the detriments of Apple. I think is that for right or wrong, they want to protect everything, but at the same time, if you're gonna hold everything back, then not everybody's personally I'm an Android guy. Full disclosure, because everything's open, everything's I could own my music, I could own whatever, I could do whatever, but I see the benefits of being an Apple user as well. So it'll be interesting to see for Pico projection and other things how that evolves. And then now with the Verizons and HBOs and all these people starting to open up, see how traditional television is going to change with mobile devices. Pico projection can really enable a lot of that change in the ecosystem of how we consume mobile content. Absolutely. I think that's the biggest thing going for Pico projectors is people want to view their stuff where they want, how they want, when they want. And these product like this is going to absolutely enable that. So I guess related, we talked about the lasers and why you're using lasers, so it's always in focus. Right now, it might be a little more costly than LEDs, but ultimately might be on par or cheaper, who knows. But when it comes to lasers, I guess some people get a little uncomfortable about, think of a laser pointer that could damage your eye or something like this. Maybe you just want to, I don't know, James or Eugene, do you want to address just to allay people's fears over, projecting with laser light? I mean, this is a safe product, yes?
Yes, it is. And actually, my U smart beam is registered in FDA, and then also we are using class 1 laser. So
Class
basically, it's safe to human's eyes.
Exactly.
Just to add on that, yeah, so it's class 1 laser, which is the safest rating for lasers, for consumer lasers. It's safe for all pretty much general uses. It's safe for human use. So yeah, we're really kind of proud of that fact. On top of being able to sort of bring all the other features that the US Smart Beam laser is able to provide.
Yeah, I remember doing. I actually had a phone call probably 2 years ago or something with actually one of those laser experts that are involved with all the changes in the FDA regulations for lasers. And I know some new regulations are coming down the way to ease that restrictions on some of the laser-based products. And they were talking that something like an LCOS panel actually has a lot of advantages as far as safety over some of the other competing technologies. So you guys can actually increase the brightness of your projector quite a bit before you breach that class 2 or class 3R or whatever. So I mean, there's certain advantages of using an LCOS panel when using lasers, in addition to getting the infinite focus and all that stuff. But as far as safety or being able to go much brighter without breaching those class 2, class 3R barriers. So that's another advantage of using one of the LCOS panels.
Yeah, so you can't put this thing on top of a shark and have it shoot
beams.
laser beams, can you? I'm just kidding. So, so do you guys have any plans to bring this into like a Best Buy or
like a retail environment?
Well, we don't see a lot of products like this in like a big box type of store. I don't know if you guys have anything that you can talk about, but what are you guys doing right now? Are you only selling this online through your website? How can people obtain one of these?
I think as far as distributors, that's sort of to be determined. It can be hard to sell a Pico projector in a store just because you'd have to have like a specialized display.
Yep.
Okay.
And so I know that I think that a few years ago, sort of the big box stores tried to carry Pico projectors, but they kind of stopped that because it was just logistically a bit difficult. And so we'll see. I guess that's the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a tough sell in a retail environment because brightly lit, it's not representative of your home. It's not representative of a controlled lighting environment like a conference room or something. But I think ultimately, once you get to closer to 100 lumens and stuff, you can really, even in moderately to brighter lighting, get a good image. So I think as the technology progresses, I think ultimately the Best Buys, I've certainly seen them in Brookstone a few years ago. I saw it, one of the TI projectors in there. But I think as the technology progresses, we'll start to see that. Whether or not it'll ever get as big as some of the other stuff in there, I don't know. But
yes, Samsung had one in Best Buy, but it's not there, and I haven't seen another one in its place. So
I mean the technology's been, but it's in the last 7 years. We've been following this for almost 8 years now. It's come. I mean, you come from 7, 8 lumens or whatever, 6, 7, 8 lumens, whatever it was. Now you're talking about battery-powered units that are 60 lumens or more, plus or minus, and with HD or 720p HD resolution. I mean, it's pretty amazing the evolution. I liken it to cell phone cameras, where it used to be a fraction of a megapixel, and now you're talking 13, 15, 18 megapixels.
And you have 2 cameras on them.
Right, now you have 2 cameras. So, I mean, the technology 10 years from now, God knows what it's going to be. So, it's all speculation at this point, who's going to be carrying it when and what quality.
I also, just to note the whole like lumens thing and it applying to lasers, not the same way it does with LEDs, because there have already been projectors that are pretty small that do maybe like 60 lumens or more, But you guys know, like the laser, it doesn't translate well into lumens.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I wonder if there is a sort of maybe measuring like direct light versus reflective light or something, but I'm not.
Yeah, nobody really has done a good job, or there's no official measurement of collimated light or direct. Yeah, exactly. Light versus anti-lumens. I know that's one of the challenges that laser projected light have.
Yeah, laser here has a higher perceived brightness than.
Yeah, depending on who you talk to, is 30 to 50% brighter to the human eye versus whatever measurement technique you're using to measure anti-lumens. Yeah, absolutely. So that's something that marketing people are going to have to fight through to really show the advantages of a laser-based light source. Absolutely. So I guess looking for is there anything else specific to the smart beam here? Again, retailing for, I believe it was $420 that I saw. Again, 720p resolution, 60 lumens. 60 lumens. 2 by 2 inches square or cubed, Miracast, DLNA, HDMI, MHL, all that. Is there anything else you guys want to highlight about this product specifically? Because I want to ask about maybe your future plans.
I think one of the big things is to note how the image is offset 100%, and so basically the bottom of the image is going to be parallel to the bottom of the lens. And I know that's sometimes a problem with some of the other projectors. You can't.
That's interesting because one of the things we've noticed was it didn't have a tripod mount.
Yeah. That's a really big deal because I know a lot of projectors, unless you put it right at the edge of the table or with like a mount, it'll get cut. The bottom half of the image will get cut off.
Right.
This throws the image like upwards, and so when you use it, it feels very natural. It feels like that's how it should work, but I know that's like an issue that a lot of people in this market, in the market for Pico projector, end up having to deal with. They buy a Pico projector, they say, well,
yes,
done. I don't want to point it up, but it's kind of shooting the image down. What do I do?
That may be one of the biggest things.
I'm looking at it right now. Actually, I'm projecting on the wall behind us, or behind the laptop that I'm looking at. And yeah, you're right. It is comfortably above.
Yeah.
The tabletop. That's a minor design thing, but it's a big user experience issue. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's sort of like, well, it's hard to really explain how that plays out because you're like, yeah, well, I can just flip it up, but that can be a lot harder than you would think at times. But yeah, the whole 100% offset thing, very much, very, very important.
Actually, before the podcast, Rich and I were talking about like, if you had like little legs that folded out or pulled out or something, you could have like a little tripod. But what you're saying is, and I see it when I project it against a wall, you're actually, this gap here almost acts as a tripod. And then you're saying you angle it up just a little bit to offset that as well.
Yeah. So you'll see if you kind of flip it upside down, the image will shoot down all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah. You can't see it on the podcast, but yeah, trust me. Yeah, you're right.
Well,
that's pretty cool.
Take some photos and put them on the website.
Yeah. Yeah, you actually have to angle it up quite a bit to get it to. That's cool. I didn't realize that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's actually really.
That's like an Apple design user experience kind of thing that all the other ones are not doing.
That's really interesting.
That's like I know you guys would appreciate that. I know it's hard to explain that to the layman.
Yeah. No. Well, the good thing is you got a lot of people that know Pico projectors that are tuning into this now or whenever it goes on the YouTube channel. But yeah, that's a really good feature that I think maybe most people are overlooking or don't think is important. I don't know. But that's cool. So, all right, so this is a U-beam. Again, $420 at uobeam.com, I believe. Can you confirm that's the website, uobeam.com?
uobeam.com, yep. And also, I think Eugene's for KDC USA.
KDC USA, yes. Any other any other future plans? So maybe you can't talk about it, but so here you got a smart projector. You got something that can connect wirelessly or wired to basically any device that you'd like. And I know you talked about the Apple piece, which is there but improving, let's say, in connectivity. Beyond this, and this is pretty amazing, are there any other plans that you can really speak of? Maybe not, but any other plans with content providers or anything beyond what we see here that you'd like to talk about or probably can't talk about?
Actually, I cannot talk about it right now. Yeah, because I'm talking to my head with Korea, so they told me not to talk about it this time. So.
Oh,
Sorry.
absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure you're under non-disclosure, all that. Just wanted to give you the opportunity. But so here you have literally leading the pack in HD laser pico projection. Here is the Smart Beam from UO Smart Beam. Really awesome product. We're going to do a full review on PicoPros.com. Be sure to check that out. And we're on YouTube.com/PicoPros. I guess where can viewers find you guys? I guess Eugene first, KDCUSA.com. Is that the correct address?
Yes, it is.
Anywhere else that maybe on Twitter or Facebook or anything, or do you want to leave it at that?
I have a Facebook, which is Facebook/SmartBeam Laser. So it's a SmartBeam Laser. I think, that is my Facebook account.
Facebook.com/SmartBeamLaser. Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. And then as far as James, for you guys, you are SmartBeam. Anything, how can they reach out to you guys, or our viewers and people that want to obviously buy the product is uosmartbeam.com, but beyond that, how can they interact with you guys?
Sure. So, obviously our website, uobeam.com, and then we have a Twitter and Facebook, uobeam, at uobeam. And I love connecting with sort of the people that interact with our product. I think there's a lot of really interesting things that people are figuring out what they can do with sort of this focus-free technology and the HD with the brightness. So I'm all ears.
Perfect. I really appreciate you guys joining us. Again, we're with PicoPros.com. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/PicoPros, Twitter.com/PicoPros. We're on Google Plus, of course. Again, this show is being powered by AV Nation, and we appreciate that. Go to avnation.tv. Again, avnation.tv. They have plenty of podcasts, not just on Pico projection, but on large, small installations for anything AV, whether it be residential, industrial, that kind of thing. So be sure to check their website and their YouTube channel out. Rich, do you have anything else before we sign off on the show today?
I just want to thank Eugene and James for joining us on this podcast, and thanks for sharing all this information. That hopefully you guys get some traffic from the show. I hope everybody checks you guys out. That's about it.
Yeah. Please, guys, Eugene and excuse me, James. Please stay in touch with us as you get new products and stuff. We'd love to have you back on the show, do more review videos. Again, stay tuned for the Smart Beam Laser Pico Projector review, everybody. But we'd love to have all you guys back on to, again, do new products, status check, all that kind of stuff. So I think with that, we're going to leave it here. James and Eugene, thank you very much for your time. Hopefully our audience has enjoyed this show. Again, this is powered by avnation.tv, and have a great night, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Good night.